It's 2 a.m., you're scrolling, and you land on a video of a sheikh reciting a hadith that stops your heart. The people who will face the harshest punishment on Judgment Day are the image makers. You put your phone down slowly. You look at your tablet. Your Blender file is still open from an hour ago. Your half-finished character model is staring back at you like evidence in a trial, and the panic starts. Do I delete everything? Is my dream career a sin I didn't even know I was committing? Have I been building a portfolio and a punishment at the same time? So you search for answers, and that's where it gets worse. One creator screams, all of it is haram. Another insists digital art has nothing to do with that hadith at all. A comment section tells you to uninstall Blender tonight. Nobody agrees, everybody sounds certain, and you're left more lost than before you searched. So let's actually do this properly. No panic, no social media fatwas, no pretending this is simple when it isn't. Let's walk through what scholars have actually said and what that means for the anime you draw, the characters you sculpt, and the games you dream of building. Start with the easy part. Is all art haram? No. And this needs to be said clearly. Every major Sunni school agrees that depicting things without souls is fine. Mountains, rivers, buildings, cars, weapons, environments, UI design. Nobody credible is telling you that modeling a tree in Blender is sinful. At the same time, there's a line nobody disputes either. Carving idols or statues meant for worship is forbidden. That's not really about art. That's about shirk, placing something created on the throne that belongs only to Allah. So immediately, two extreme claims collapse. Islam isn't anti-creativity, but it also isn't a free-for-all. The real argument begins somewhere else entirely, with living beings. Here's the truth nobody online wants to admit. There has never been one unified answer. Hanbali scholars leaned strict. Many Shafi'i scholars avoided depicting animate beings, citing the severity of the warnings. Hanafi scholars discussed specific exceptions. Maliki scholars often treated a flat drawing very differently from a three-dimensional statue. So if someone tells you, every scholar agreed this is haram, that's false. If someone tells you, every scholar agreed it's fine, that's also false. And then there's a narration that flips the entire conversation on its head. Aisha, the Prophet's wife, peace be upon him, played with dolls in his presence, not hidden, not before Islam. One account even describes a toy horse with wings. Sit with that for a second. This single narration became the foundation many later scholars leaned on when discussing children's cartoons and educational animation, which opens the door to a much bigger question. If that exception exists, what about the rest of us? The teenager building an educational game, the artist drawing manga because she loves storytelling, the animator teaching kids how to pray through a cartoon character. None of them are trying to rival Allah's creation. Their intention is education, art, income, storytelling. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said actions are judged by intention. So some scholars argue that intention matters here too. Others push back hard. Good intentions don't automatically make a prohibited act permissible. That tension is the warning about the act or the heart behind it, is centuries old, and it's exactly where this debate still lives. Now let's get specific, because vague theory doesn't help you decide what to do tomorrow. Educational cartoons for kids, widely permitted by contemporary scholars, largely because of the doll precedent and the clear benefit, teaching salah, honesty, Islamic values through a medium children actually engage with. Entertainment cartoons. Disagreement resumes. Stricter voices say the warning on animate images still applies, full stop. More moderate scholars separate the medium from the message. A cartoon teaching patience isn't equivalent to one glorifying nudity or mockery of faith. Anime, the question half of you came here for. It depends entirely on which opinion you follow. Stricter views avoid animate figures altogether. More permissive, often Maliki-influenced views allow it as long as the content stays clean. No nudity, no sexualization, no promotion of sin. In between, you'll find artists who simply remove faces or eyes from characters, not from lack of skill, but from wanting peace of mind. Blender, sculpting, 3D characters. This is where it gets genuinely fascinating, because classical scholars debated paint and clay. Nobody debated polygons. Try explaining Blender to a scholar 5 centuries ago. I sculpt humans. From clay? No. What are they made from? Math and light. Can they be touched, worshipped? Do they physically exist anywhere? No. Welcome to the modern dilemma nobody wrote a ruling for in advance. Environments, props, vehicles, architecture in 3D, essentially universal agreement that this is fine. Human characters in 3D, the real battlefield. Some argue a rendered human is closer to a statue and the same caution applies. Others argue the opposite. If 2D pixels can be permissible because they're not physical objects, why would 3D data suddenly become different? Both positions are reasoned, neither is dishonest. Game development and money. Here's where an important, specific line gets drawn. Simple, clean games. No gambling, no explicit human figures, no glorification of violence, no music if you're following stricter views, are broadly agreed to be fine, and earning from them is fine too. But certain categories cross a clear boundary. Games built around gambling mechanics, poker, blackjack, roulette simulators, are prohibited because the underlying activity itself is forbidden. Games built around sexualized or inappropriately depicted human characters are equally rejected. And games engineered to reward graphic violence carry their own warning, not just religiously but socially, desensitizing players, especially children, to real harm. That concern isn't theoretical. It's been raised directly alongside real tragedies where extreme violence in media was cited as a contributing factor. Building and profiting from content designed around gambling, indecency, or glorified brutality isn't a gray area. That part scholars broadly agree on. So where does that leave you? Environment art, architecture, props, landscapes, vehicles, build freely, no dispute exists here. If you lean toward the more permissive scholarly opinions, 2D art, anime, certain animation, and digital characters have real, respected support behind them, as long as the content itself stays clean. Avoid gambling mechanics, indecent depictions, and violence built specifically to desensitize. That's not a gray area, no matter which school you follow. So, is digital art categorically haram? No. Are parts of it clearly prohibited? Yes. Are parts of it clearly fine? Also yes. And does your specific dream, the anime, the game, the animation, sit inside an area of honest scholarly disagreement? Very often, yes. That's not a dodge, that's the actual answer. Seek knowledge directly. Follow the opinion you sincerely find strongest from people qualified to guide you, not comment sections. If this helped untangle something that's been sitting on your chest, send it to the Muslim artist in your group chat who's been quietly panicking about the exact same thing. And if you want more conversations like this, the ones that actually wrestle with the hard questions instead of avoiding them, subscribe because there's more coming.